So I'm still in the studio with A.V. Mbadibo, the father of a son with cerebral palsy and the co-founder of Benola Cerebral Palsy Initiative, who is expecting that a lot of Lagosians will come out on the 1st of October to walk for cerebral palsy. So it's nice to have you back here.
Thank you.
Can you believe yourself today calling people to come and walk for cerebral palsy when, just like any typical parent, you did run helter-skelter to find help for the boy?
Oh, yeah, we did. And, you know, I was fortunate that the Air Force came to my support. We went to, my wife and the young man went to Germany in 1997, spent a few months, and the conclusion was that there's not much that can be done.
Same story.
Same story. Then, you know, but we started to see openings in terms of understanding because she came back with a lot of literature. Mm-hmm. We also started to get support from our friends. You see, because we never hid the fact that we had an issue. And my colleagues in the Air Force rallied round. When anybody was traveling abroad, it was like, what does Laolu need? Because most of the medication, you can't get them easily in Nigeria.
So what happens to people who don't have the kind of means that you have if they have kids like this? What has your work shown you over time?
It's shown me that there's a big problem. If you go to the homes, and I've been to homes where they have children with cerebral palsy in Lagos, Port Harcourt, Ilorin, Jos, Abuja, all over. One thing hits you: these children are not on any medication. You see, they won't die. That's the interesting thing with children with cerebral palsy. They live a long life if they're cared for properly. And cared for is just about keeping them healthy and keeping them and feeding them. Okay, but giving them medication and physio is what gives them a better quality of life.
And this is not cheap, is it?
It's not. It's not. You know. It's quite. Before Naira went crazy, it would cost you easily between 300 and 400,000 a month to take adequate care of a child with cerebral palsy.
Just to have the child have a good life. So, I mean, could that be one of the reasons you set up? You said you didn't want to set up an NGO, but Benola exists today because of your son. Tell me how that happened.
Benola is a non-governmental organization, and you see, doing Benola has opened my eyes to so many things.
Is that his name, or Laolu is part of the Benola?
You see, when we wanted to, after my doctor friend convinced me to do this, and that is to an NGO.
Okay.
I told him, you know, it's like, I can't serve 35 years in government, come out and fight government like everybody else is doing. You see, we must find a way to educate government. And, you know, and the way you educate is to get knowledge first, so that whatever you're saying, you're sure it's correct. Mm-hmm. And so I said, I would rather do something different. And with all due respect to those of them all the people who have homes and schools, you see, having a home or a school is providing for just a minute population of those who have these problems. And in most cases, you're not even giving any expertise. And you are not providing any support to the parents. You see, the parents need a lot of support, counseling, understanding of the issues at hand.
Counseling?
Yes, so that they can cope and deal with the issues there. So I said, the thing really is to do something different.
Which is?
Which is an initiative, okay? You see, a foundation means you've got money to spend. Alhaji Dangote had a foundation, Bill Gates had a foundation.
What you have is an initiative.
Mine is an initiative. And when we started Benola, I used the catchphrase, it's an idea running wild. And believe me, we have not even hit the tip of the iceberg.
Is it only about cerebral palsy? Because I tend to get the feeling that you do much more than that.
Well, you see, we started with cerebral palsy. The more I'm doing cerebral palsy, the more I'm understanding disability. The first thing that hit me is that you have neurodevelopmental disabilities. So autism, Down syndrome, attention deficit disorder, dyslexia, all of them, they fall under this neurodevelopmental group of disabilities. Cerebral palsy just happens to the one that makes the child unattractive.
It distorts their...
Yeah, their body and everything. And then, okay, they drool. A lot of them are incontinent. And so, if we don't teach the parents how to care for these children and the homes, the children will stink, the homes will stink, which makes them unattractive.
So how does Benola do this? I mean, I don't understand. You have this initiative. Are you going around teaching parents? Because I know, like you said, those schools cannot take a lot of people. And I hear that most parents, even some parents, lock up their children when there's a disability, hoping they would die. I heard some very funny stories at that summit.
Well, you see, the first thing we need to understand is that when we don't understand something, we fear and we run away from it. And when we are operating in an environment where religion, tradition has already given some negative perspective to not being normal.
Like?
You see, you watch Nollywood movies, right? And even you, everywhere you go, the prayer is about, is about healing, is about casting out demons. Now, if you don't believe that child is possessed by a demon, what are you casting out? I'm a Christian. I go to church and I believe 100% in Christ. But I think we are getting it all wrong in the way we look at all these things. Because when God says, or Christ says, you are created in God's image, it means you, I, and that leper out there, we're all in God's image.
And people like Olaoluwa.
Yes, we're all in God's image. And to be honest with you, it is when you look at a disabled person beyond the disability that you really begin to see God's image, because you begin to see ability. You begin to see things that you never thought were possible. Okay? And that's when you begin to see how fortunate you are.
Did you ever think you did something wrong to be blessed with a child? Like, I mean, I'm sure you didn't think it was a blessing at the beginning. Now it's a blessing.
You don't see it as a blessing at the beginning.
But you do now.
Like I said, I've learned so much. Okay? I don't think there's any portion of religion or Bible or something that you can read that can get you to really understand life, like really managing somebody with a disability. Okay? Because you begin to see the possibilities. You begin to see, like I said, it still comes back to this ability in disability. You see,
tell me some of the great things that your son can do, for example. Because he's a severe, you say.
He's severe. He can't. Well, I try to tell parents not to say he can't do this, so let's focus on what he can do. And what Laolu can do, like I said, is that he has a smile that will melt anybody. When I went with Laolu, I feel like I'm like God. You understand? The way he looks at me. I mean, to be honest with you, I could hold a knife to Laolu's neck, and he would just be waiting to see what I'm going to do.
Man.
Because there is no doubt in him that I will always care for him.
That's a responsibility.
I walk into the house, and he's so excited. He just gets so excited. And it's amazing. I don't know what else I could tell you.
So you have two other sons, right? Yeah. How did they treat your brother? You tell me that you eventually found out that even the first one had a bit of a disability. I mean, too.
Well, you see, my first son has always loved art.
To paint and draw.
Paint and draw. And it was a problem when he was in primary school. His teachers couldn't stand it because he drew on virtually everything. But he also hardly finishes any work, so he's that impatient. You need to sit and discuss with him, then you know how intelligent he is. But he will only discuss what he wants to discuss. And he got out of university, and he's working with me now because he's just not really interested in working. He has no financial interest, he has no things. He's such a loving person, but he's been a fantastic brother to his son.
So you realize that.
And it is in doing Benola that I really came to understand him. Okay? And so we still have our issues. He's 29 years old now, but we get along.
But I need to also draw attention to the fact that this walk you're having on Saturday, how's it going to happen? How can we be part of it? Before I wind down.
The first thing is...
And why are you doing it anyway?
Well, one of the things we did to start Benola, like I said, as an initiative, is to do something different. from the way everybody's looking at disability. And so I first of all went out to look at various organizations all over the world that are doing cerebral palsy. And I picked ideas, and I realized that one of the things we need most is awareness. And the way to do that is to build an online presence. And so we set out to develop a website, which, by the grace of God, now is about the most authoritative website anywhere on cerebral palsy.
So making information available to people.
Yes, we looked for, we know there's Autism Day, there's Down Syndrome Day, so we went online. When is Cerebral Palsy Day? And we couldn't find one. Okay, but in our search, we found an Australian organization that has started an online movement called World CP Day. And,
which is October 5.
Yes, which is the first Wednesday in October every year. And so we linked up with them, and they were excited, and they pulled us in, and we started to do some things with them.
So this walk is walk for awareness. So people can go to your website and get all the information that they have and to be part of this. Because this is our own contribution to that walk. You know, Channels Television, Ultima Studios, and Universal Communications have said, we believe that there's ability in disability. And we admire you for the work that you do as a great father. And we hope that people will come out, and we hope that the future will be brighter for all your kids.
And even when they cannot come out, they can join us online.
Oh, interesting.
By just wearing green.
On Saturday?
On Saturday and on the 5th.
Okay.
By wearing green, taking pictures of themselves, and on anything that just says, I support cerebral palsy.
So green is the color. That's interesting. That's our national flag color tonight. One of the colors in our national flag. Yeah. So it works perfectly. Yeah. Let's make Nigeria green between the 1st and the 5th of October, not only for your country, but for cerebral palsy. Awesome. Thank you, AVM Badibo, for being here. I appreciate your honest sharing, and hopefully people can go to your site. We'll scroll it for you and get all the information that they want.
Okay.
Thank you for watching. That's been Seriously Speaking for today. We'll see you again next week. Bye.